Good morning, happy Monday the 10th, and welcome to another week of Subject to Finance. My name's Andrew Chambers, and I'll be taking you through what's been going on for the last week in home loans. There's quite a bit going on this week. We're going to talk a little bit about Co-op and some of the things it's doing around making it easier for first home buyers. We're going to look at ANZ, who've just announced that they're bringing back Blueprint to Build, which is a product and offering that they have around the off-plan build space and construction space. And then we've got some stuff going on, as we always do, in the rate market, which we'll talk about. So jumping straight into it, let's start with Co-op. Co-op have always had a big focus on first home buyers, and in the last week they've sort of emphasised that they're really keen to see more of those home loans from first home buyers coming through their system. So some of the big changes. So what they're looking to do is get more first home buyers into their 1 and 2 year fixed rates, and they're looking to put an offer around that, which is a cash offer. And essentially it's a good cash offer. So for first home buyers that are buying up to 80% LVR, they're looking to give a 1% cash offer up to $20,000 on home loans over 250k. So it's a decent offer comparable to the cash that you get out of the other main banks in the market, if not better than some of them at the moment. On Kāinga Ora loans, they are also doing something, and Kāinga Ora loans are typically loans where you're in that 80 to 90% LVR range. So they have a 1% cash back offer there for up to 10,000 on home loans over 250k. And then on the Kāinga Ora loans that are over 90, and we do see those, so there's Kāinga Ora are a great place for first home buyers that are looking to buy with small deposits. So, you know, we'll often see those loans in that 90 to 95% range. So over 90, Co-op are saying that they'll do 0.5% of cash, so not quite the same as under, but it's still decent, up to 10,000k for homes over 250k. So it's a genuine offer for Co-op to try and build the number of home loans they're getting from first home buyers, and it's a good one. So the other big news of the week this week is from ANZ. They had a very successful program called Blueprint to Build. They are bringing that back from the 10th of July, and that means a few things, and it's great for agents because it's going to drive, hopefully, some benefit to developers in terms of what they're doing as well. So they will now assess turnkey applications where the LVR is greater than 80%. So going back to the old days, that's where I'm buying, say, an apartment before it's come out of the ground. Why is that good? Well, it gives buyers the opportunity to get in with a 10% deposit and take that risk of sitting there while the construction happens. But in doing that, it allows the actual developer themselves to get those pre-sales in place and to be able to get their projects away. So it really does unlock the market, not just for the buyer, but for the developers as well. Yeah, we haven't seen this product in the market for a long time, so it's great to see it back. So, you know, new build apartments, townhouses, that's where it sort of fits, and it'll allow some projects to get away that haven't been able to, where they haven't been able to get those pre-sales, but it'll also allow some of those investor buyers and first home buyers to get in there with that 10% deposit, which you know, they haven't been able to do. You know, if you think about investors, they've been shut out at 60% LVRs for a long time. That's recently been lifted to 65. This gives them the ability to go that little bit further up to that sort of 90% mark on off the plans type purchases. So that's back in place, and we will have some more information on that as they launch it on the 10th of July, I believe. So that's really positive news from ANZ. Oh, and just on that, sorry, just to reiterate that it's 90% for first home buyers as a max, and it's 85% for residential investment lending. What else has been going on this week? Well, ANZ had one other little change. They have kicked their cash offer back from 1% to 0.9%, so slightly less. Not a major, but just a small retraction of the incentive around cash from ANZ in the last week. Also this week, we're continuing to see what I would call the bounce along the bottom or the top, if you like, with interest rates. And after talking about interest rates potentially signalling that they were coming back, we've seen pretty much all of the major banks put rates up in the last week again. So across the board, we've sort of seen 1 and 2 year rates, 3 year in one case, go up by about 0.14 to 0.3%. Nothing happening beyond 3 years for most of the banks. Although ANZ did kick up their 3 year just a slight notch. So yeah, a little bit surprised by that. It wasn't something we were expecting. Not major lifts, but also just intriguing as to what's going on with interest rates at the moment, because it seems to be a little bit of an up and down movement going on, and there's no stability there at the moment. So if BNZ continue to hold, it will be interesting to see how the banks deal with that. And I wonder if it's just about sort of getting that margin right with the anticipation that things are going to come back at some point in the near future. There are theories out there at the moment that we could see inflation sort of go up and down a little bit over the second half of the year, and in prior recessions, what we've seen prior to Christmas, which is that big spending season, is that reserve banks may actually push up the OCR around, sort of later in the year to kind of counter the effect of us going out and spending a lot over that Christmas period. So I expect it's going to sort of stick around where it is at the moment for a little while. It'll be interesting to see if the inflation numbers come back over the second half of the year, then potentially we'll see the banks coming back. But overlaying all of that, the banks are borrowing still in terms of the gap between deposits and home loans from offshore, and that wholesale money that they borrow from offshore is subject to the effect of markets outside of New Zealand. So we'll wait and see what happens. So that's about it for this Monday morning. Again, I have mentioned this in the past, but for all you agents out there that have questions relating to finance, or if you've got a particular case with a client that you're trying to get your head around in terms of helping them, feel free to reach out at hello@teller.co.nz, or you can also, I believe, use the Q&A in the podcast below in terms of Spotify, and that message will get to us as well. Always keen to hear questions from you in terms of things that you might be trying to solve for, particularly where it's first home buyers, or the type of product might be something a little trickier like an apartment or something. Those questions are always great to hear, and if I can add them to this podcast, it just gives everyone the value. So have a great week, and we'll catch up next Monday morning. Cheers.